Hi, guys. This is an active restorative practice based on core strength to establish greater flexibility, range of motion, and freedom in the body. So we'll start with we'll start in a seated position. We'll start with the right shin crossed in front of the left. Extend your spine, draw the crown of the head up toward the sky. Draw the shoulders down away from your ears at the same time. Begin your Ujjayi breathing, breathing in through the nostrils, but really through the muscles of the throat. As your throat constricts on your inhale, you're going to hear the sound of the breath, right? Almost like you're whispering. And on the exhalation, your throat will widen, as though you're moving wind through a wide tunnel. You'll hear that sound as well. Once you've tuned into the sound of your body breathing, begin to lengthen out the duration of both sides of the breath, both sounds of the breath. The sound of the inhale and the sound of the exhale. And then notice that as you take your next inhale, there's probably a little more you can fill up. So take a longer inhale. Keep the sound of that inhale going. On your exhale, notice that you can probably exhale for a longer period of time. There's probably more you can wring out of the body. Keep the action of the exhale going and keep the sound of the exhale going. Take 3 more breaths like that. Shoulders are down away from the ears. Focus on the sound of your breath lengthening. On this last exhale, focus again on making sure that this exhale is longer than all of the previous out breaths. Then holding empty, just lean back and switch sides. So now your left shin is crossed in front of the right. Go back to Ujjayi breathing, this time focusing not only on the sound of your breath, but the look and the feel of the breath. So as you start to take your next inhale, notice that as the throat constricts, your abdominal muscles relax and expand, the belly expands. Feel that and see that. Watch that happening. Feel it happening. Feel how the back of your body even expands. Exhale to engage. And draw the navel in. Inhale. The throat is constricting, but the abdominals are relaxing. Fill up the belly. Watch the belly fill. On your exhale, watch your abdominal muscles engage. Feel the abdominal muscles engage and listen to the sound of your out breath moving through the relaxed throat. That wide tunnel for the wind to flow through freely. Take 3 more breaths like that. Watching, feeling, and listening. Making sure to drag the inhale out to a longer period of time and drag the exhale out until you're entirely empty before you begin your next inhale. And on your last exhale, really pulling the navel back, drawing the shoulders down, activating your core. And by core, I mean everything that surrounds your spine, so not just your abdominals. Feel the back of your body engaging as well to support the extension of your spine. Good. Go ahead and open your eyes now. Roll forward so you come onto your palms, uncross your shins, and come onto the hands and the knees. Take an in breath here to extend your spine. Exhale, round your back, draw the belly in. Inhale, extend the spine. And exhale to round the back. Once again, take your inhale and extend. Exhale, round, draw the navel in, bring the chin into the soft part of the throat. Really empty. Inhale, lengthen the sides of your torso, stand up onto the pads of your toes, and this time exhale, make your way into downward facing dog. Begin to walk your legs out, bending your left knee, bring your right heel to the ground. Bring your ribs all the way in to touch your left thigh. Feel the stretch on the right side of your torso. Now switch sides. Bring the right thigh in to meet your right ribs. Root down through your left heel. Feel the stretch from the left heel up to the left armpit. Good. Go a little bit faster, bending the straightening the right knee, bending the left knee. Push down more through the right heel. As you switch sides, left heel roots down. Pull the right knee in a bit closer to the chest. One more time on both sides as you root down to the right heel. This time, maybe lift your toes off the floor. Push down through both palms so you feel an even greater stretch. As you switch sides, keep rooting down to the palms. Pull the weight of your body out of your shoulders. Good. And then release your knees back down to the mat. Inhale, extend. Drawing some space between your hips and your armpits. Exhale to child's pose, bringing your hips to your heels and the forehead to the ground. 3 breaths in child's pose. Inhaling into your back. Exhaling, draw the navel in and up toward the spine. Listen, feel, and watch. Use the inhale to expand into your back. Use your exhale to engage the front. Good. Come back up onto the hands and the knees. Take an inhale here. Stand up onto the pads of your toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. At this time, we're going to bend both knees and lift the heels way up off the floor. Your ribs are touching the thighs again. Exhale, straighten out. Both legs root down to the heels. See if you can lift your toes or at least spread them into the floor away from each other. Bend the knees, ribs come to thighs. Inhale, lift the heels up higher. Exhale, root down through heels, root down through the inner edges of your feet. Push the floor away with both palms and find your emptiness. Find Uddiyana Bandha. One more time, bend the knees, lift the heels. And exhale, straighten out the legs, root down through the heels. Abs are strong, make sure you're emptying out. Bring your knees back down to the earth. Take your inhale, extend your spine. Exhale, child's pose. This time, walk your knees out wide so that your knees are on the outer edges of your mat. And drop your ribs between your thighs. Forehead all the way down to the ground. Getting a nice stretch through your armpits as well here. So you're letting your heart melt toward the earth. Expand into the sides of your torso, breathing into the left and the right side body, expanding to the left and the right. As you exhale, hug left and right side, back toward your spine, back toward midline. Also notice the nice easy stretch that's happening on your inner thighs. Inhale all the way into that feeling. So again, we're looking at the part of the body that's stretching with our mind's eye. We're feeling the stretch and we're directing the breath, the inhale into the stretch. As you exhale, feel the support of your strong exhalation, toning the lower abdomen and helping you round your back with integrity. Come back up onto the hands and the knees. Now extend the spine. Good, stand up onto the pads of your toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. This time we're going to inhale the heels up off of the floor. Exhale, swivel your hips over to the right. Feel the left side of your body stretch out here. Inhale way up onto the pads of your toes. Exhale, swivel your hips to the left. Turn the toes to the right. Inhale way up onto the pads of the toes. Exhale, hips swivel to the right, toes turn to the left. Once again, inhale, heels up, and exhale, swivel those hips. Feel the stretch on the right side of your body. Bring it back to downward facing dog. And with a full breath in here, expand your back ribs toward the heavens. On a strong, long exhale, find Uddiyana Bandha. Hollow out the belly. Using that inner strength, pull the ribs closer to the thighs. Make sure your neck isn't doing the work. Draw your knees down to the ground. Inhale into your neutral spine. This time though, exhale, cross your shins. We're gonna sit back behind the heels now and into a seated position. Once you're there, your right shin is gonna cross up on top of the left shin. So we're stacking the shins. If that is too much, you can continue to bring the right leg and right shin in front of the left shin. Reach the arms overhead and take an inhale. Please flex both feet. Exhale, dive over your shins, walking your hands forward and draping your body over your legs. Forehead is relaxing down toward the earth. Your neck is completely stretching here, so we're not holding tension in the neck at all. Breathe into your hips here. So this is a pretty obvious stretch, but just in case you're not sure where you're supposed to feel this, this is in your hips, basically right hip a little more than left, but probably both hips. Keep your feet flexed, keep your inner thighs engaging isometrically. So as you have your shins either crossed or stacked, squeeze in a little bit to midline in either case with both inner thighs. You're going to feel again the lower belly toning. Use that toning, use that core strength to pull the ribs down further. Take a strong exhale here, dive deeper. Feel the stretch increasing. Again, you're diving deeper because you're exhaling for a longer period of time, connecting to that with all of your senses. Walk your hands back in towards your shins. Take an inhale to sweep the arms overhead. And exhale, twist to your right, taking your left hand to the outside of the right shin. Right hand comes back behind your left glute, so a little more to the left than to center. Take an in-breath, lift the rib cage higher, but keep the shoulders down. Then exhale, again, engage your inner thighs as though you're trying to squeeze those knees together. And once you engage the inner thighs, that starts your twist actually for you. You'll feel the inner belly engage, and then you'll feel this kind of winding around the entire spine. Strong inhale to lengthen out. Take all of the rounding out of your middle back. Exhale, ring out one more time. Inhale, come back to center. Sweep both arms up. Exhale, dive over to your left, bringing the left hand down and bringing your right arm as far away from your right knee as possible. This left shoulder stays away from the left ear. So we're not doing this, right? Left shoulder comes down, chest stays open. Start to bring your left elbow even closer to the ground without the shoulder coming up around the ear. If that's not happening, don't worry about it. Pull the right knee more to the right. Keep both feet flexed, by the way. That's a reminder for me as well. As you exhale, you're going to rotate your right armpit toward the sky a bit more. Keep pulling right knee away from right fingertips. Good. Very slowly, let's rise up. Sweep the arms overhead. And then turn the palms out, swivel your arms back behind you. Claw the floor with your fingertips here. Take an in-breath to lift the chest, open up the heart center. As you exhale, you're just gonna let the right shin slide off of the left shin so that both of your, the fronts of both lower legs are pushing down into the floor as your hips rise. If that's too much, keep the hips on the ground and just bend your elbows to lift the chest and flare the front ribs open just a bit more. In either case, make sure that your chin is either tucked into the soft part of the throat or your neck is long, your chin is jutting up toward the sky, but you're not letting the weight of your head drop down, right? We don't want to compress there. Take one final inhale. Feel your triceps engaging here. Keep the elbows soft, push down through your shins a bit more, and release the hips down toward the ground. Great work. Good. Switching sides, bring your left shin in front of your right. Or if possible, stack the left shin on top of the right shin. Okay, either way works. Flex both feet here. Sweep the arms overhead, inhale. Exhale, dive over your shins. Use your abs to pull you down, but also use your arm strength to keep telescoping your ribs forward. So that once you do come down, you're not in this rounded position, like reaching for the ground from behind your pelvis. So if this feels like it's you, right, and you're trying to reach from behind the hip, instead of stacking the shins, just bring the left shin in front of the right, extend your spine, reach as far forward as you can, then allow your back to round. It doesn't matter if you're nowhere near the floor. That's not what we're doing, right? But for those of you who need to be near the floor to feel this stretch, that's the direction we're moving in. Breathe to the left hip, breathe to the right hip. Feel the stretch on the outer glutes and inside the hip socket itself, right into the piriformis muscles, your gluteus medius and minimus. Soften your neck again, relax your jaw and your teeth. Take a final exhale, dive deeper, abs are strong. Walk your hands back in towards your shins, sweep the arms overhead, inhale. Keeping your feet flexed, exhale, twist to your left, bringing the right hand to the outside of the left thigh. Left hand will come back behind your right glute. Inhale, grow taller, shoulders are down. Exhale, isometrically hug your inner shins toward each other and your inner knees toward each other. Keep the exhale going. So if you're just passively exhaling, it's going to feel like you've exhaled for 1 second and you're empty. If you actively exhale, though, you'll notice that even when you feel empty, you can keep the action of the exhale going for much longer. And because you're doing so, you're uncovering greater range of motion. Good. Slowly unravel and bring it back to where we started. Sweep the arms overhead again. Exhale, bring the right hand down. Bend your right elbow to start bringing the right forearm to the ground. Meanwhile, your left arm is reaching away from the left knee. We're opening up this left hip flexor area as well. So we don't want to bring the knee up with the arm. Okay, keep this hip bone and thigh bone away from each other by pulling your left knee as far to the left as you can. Now again, you may need to at any time bring the left shin in front of the right instead of stacking. If you are stacking, keep both feet active and keep that isometric contraction through both inner thighs. Maybe the right elbow comes to the ground, but keep pulling the left knee away from the direction your left arm is reaching. Slowly rotate the left armpit toward the sky and take one final inhale. Strong exhale from the right side of your body to hug in. Rise up on the next in-breath, sweep the arms up. Get taller, but keep the shoulders away from the ears. Take your arms back behind you again, claw the floor with your fingertips. Inhale, let the heart rise. Exhale, slide the left shin off of the right if you haven't already, and lift the pelvis up toward the sky. Expanding your belly toward the heavens while you root your shins down into the earth. Again, your chin can jut up, but you want to make sure here that you're not letting your head fall back. Bend the elbows back behind you. You can bring the hips back down to the ground at any time. Take a final inhale into the front of the pelvis. This is a stretch for your hip flexors. Exhale, release the hips back down to the ground. Good, now lean back, pick up both feet, and just extend your shins parallel with the floor. Your knees are gonna move away from your chest. Your spine stays neutral. So your abs have to be strong here. Reach your fingers past your knees. Take an inhale, extend the legs forward. Exhale, bring your knees back in, balancing on your sit bones. Inhale, extend. Exhale, slowly, slowly bring it in. The slower you go, the more you're gonna feel that internal engagement. Just one more. Inhale, extend out. And exhale, bring it in. Hold on to your shins here. Balance on your sit bones, letting the muscles twitch a bit here as you just allow the body to try to right itself, right? This is important for, especially as we age, that we challenge our bodies with this type of easy, seemingly easy motion, right? So once you've found a balance on the sit bones and you're able to kind of let yourself regulate there, Go ahead and release both feet flat to the mat. Take your arms back behind you. Point your fingers away from your glutes here. Inhale to open up the chest. And as you exhale, bend your elbows. Stay seated if you'd like, or lift the hips and move into tabletop. Your elbows stay soft. Take an in-breath to lift the hips a bit higher. Exhale, release your hips back down to the ground. Go ahead, turn the fingertips out to either side. Inhale, open up the chest again. Exhale, root down through the feet, lift the hips again. Draw the sit bones in one direction toward the knees. So you feel like the top of the pelvis is moving away from your ribs. And then release your hips back down, but keep the elbows soft and the chest open. I'm gonna do that one more time, pointing your fingers towards your glutes. Elbows stay soft. Inhale, open chest. Stay here if you'd like. Exhale, root down through your feet. Draw the crown back. When your neck gets tired, chin comes in. You don't want to let the head drop all the way down to the ground. One final inhale here. Elbows are not locked. Abs are stretching a bit. Hamstrings and glutes are engaging. And release the hips back down to the floor. So drop onto your elbows now. And once your elbows are on the floor, send the legs up to the ceiling, flexing your feet. Take an in-breath. Extend your spine. So we're not overarching, but we're not rounding either, right? We want to find extension rather than pinching. And start to bring the legs forward. Shoulders are down away from your ears. Holding here, take an in-breath. Exhale, draw navel down to bring the legs slowly back in. Just two more of these. Inhale and hold. Exhale, bring it out. Inhale, hold. Make sure you're not arching your back. Exhale, draw navel in to bring the legs slowly back in. I think that was 3. Walk your elbows all the way out and lie onto your back with your head on the ground. The back of your head is resting. Your neck is completely relaxed after that one. Flex your feet again. Take your in-breath. Reach your arms out to either side of the room. And exhale. Bring the legs forward. Just, you won't have to go very far to feel this, because your abs are going to start to shake. If you move further than that, your back is just going to arch, your belly will just distend, right? So instead of that, we want to stay in sensation. If you're not sure where that is, take your hands to your abdominal cavity area, right? So below the belly button. Pull the legs forward until you feel that part of your body tone. Hold there. Shoulders are down away from the ears. Take one more deep inhale. Please make sure your back isn't arching. Good, and exhale, breathe the legs very slowly back to where we started. Once you get there, bring your right knee into your chest or towards your right armpit really, and extend your left leg parallel with the floor. Clasp your hands around your right shin. Take a deep inhale. Shoulders are down away from the ears. Exhale, forehead comes up to meet the knee, and the knee comes in to meet the forehead. Deep inhale into your lower back. Strong exhale, pull the navel down toward the spine. Extend your right leg straight now, and if possible, grab your right big toe with the first 2 fingers of your right hand. Reach your fingertips toward your left fingertips towards your left toes. Activate your left foot, by the way, and lift a bit higher so your rib cage, the back of your rib cage, is lifting off of the ground. Exhale, bring your right thigh closer to your right ribs. Release your head down, but keep the leg where it is. Release the left leg down and bring your left hand to the front of your left thigh. So the left thigh will be your anchor now as you inhale your right leg out to the right. Now, if you're holding onto your toe and this is just causing you tension in your right shoulder, bring your right hand to the outside of the right shin. Bring your right elbow to the ground, but keep the left glutes from coming up. Okay, so we want the left glutes to stay on the floor. Your left hand is there on the thigh to remind the thigh to stay anchored. If you can grab the right big toe, you're grabbing it with the first 2 fingers of your right hand, but we're still, bringing the right elbow to the ground to give it a little more support there. Keep the left shoulder away from your left ear and please breathe deeply. This is a stretch for your right inner thigh. Remember that we're tuning in. We're listening to the sound of the inhale and the exhale. We're feeling and watching the inhale and the exhale. Take a final inhale here. Good. As you exhale, you're going to use your arm strength here to bring your right leg back up over your right hip. So otherwise your inner thigh is going to have to do it and it's relaxed right now. Then take your left hand to the outside of the right shin and coax your right leg all the way across the body to the left. Open up the chest here. Lift those ribs away from the pelvis. So you're going to pull the entire rib cage away from the hip bones. Exhale, reach your right arm to the right. Turn your head to the right. Your left hand is just going to very gently hold on to the outside of the right shin, but you're also rooting the sole of your right foot into the left wall, even if it's just pretend, right? That's the direction you're moving in. Draw the right sit bone toward the right heel so we take any pinchiness out of the lower back right side. Take a final exhale here, ring out one more time. Roll onto your back and reach the sole of your right foot up to the ceiling, flexing your right foot. Now take your hands, both of them to the calf muscle. Your left leg can stay anchored to the ground. Bring your forehead up to your right shin and see if you can go just a little bit further now, bringing the elbows in so that the elbows kind of wrap around both sides of the knee there. Keep the foot flexed and just see how close you can bring your forehead to your shin. Please keep your shoulders away from your ears and then release that down. Extend your right leg back up right over your right hip here. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, bring the left leg up as well. Flex your feet, arms reach out to either side. Inhale here. Exhale, both legs will come forward just until you feel the abs engaging. And by abs, I don't mean up around the ribs, I mean down here in the lower and inner core. So it's going to feel like you're cinching a belt around the hip bones and they're moving, the hip bones move towards your belly button. We're not arching the back, right? You want to feel that engagement. You want to feel like your abs are shaking. Know that they're working, right? You shouldn't feel like you can't tell if the abs are working on this one. 2 more breaths. 1 more deep inhale, followed by a really strong exhale. Good. Now inhale and then exhale, bring the legs slowly back to where they were, right up over the hips. Keep the right leg where it is. And this time just bring your left knee in toward the left armpit, extending the right leg forward until it's parallel with the floor. Deep inhale. Exhale, bring your forehead up to meet the left knee, knee in to meet the forehead. Shoulders are down, ribs are rising. Right leg is actively rooting forward. Your toes, all 10 of them, are spreading away from each other. Now grab your left big toe with the first 2 fingers of your left hand if possible. Otherwise, just take a hold of your calf. Reach your right fingertips toward the right toes. Shoulders are down. Shoulder blades are off the mat. Using your core strength, see if you can lift the rib cage, the entire back of your rib cage, off the floor here. And then on exhale, forehead to knee, knee to forehead. Release your head down, but keep the left leg where we've been able to bring it into, right? So it's gonna feel like you've deepened the stretch once the head comes down to the floor. Right hand will come to right thigh. That's your anchor, right? Right leg is your anchor. Slowly bring the left leg out to the left. Take your left hand to the outer shin if you need to. We're not rolling to the left. The back of your right shoulder, the right shoulder blade, your right glutes are still all on the floor. Engage your left outer thigh to pull the left leg a bit closer to the earth and to support the stretch on the left inner thigh. Inhale into the left inner thigh. Exhale, root down through the right leg even more, making sure that you're finishing each exhale, because every time you re-engage your abdominals, you're going to feel more support for the stretch, and you'll feel your body actually relax and let go of tension. Now, using your left arm, coax the left leg back up over your left hip here. Flex your left foot, and take your right hand to the outside of your left shin and slowly make your way over to the right. You're going to roll all the way onto your right hip bone, reach your left arm to the left, turn your head to look over your left shoulder. Your right hand is on the outer shin of the left leg, but you're rooting the sole of your left foot toward the right wall. So you feel the stretch move all the way up your back. Pull this left sit bone toward the left knee so that we're not hiking the left hip up toward left rib. Breathe into the space there that we're creating between the left hip and the left ribs. And please remember to soften here. We're not forcing the twist, we're softening around the twist. Check in, you might even want to close your eyes here. Check in with your breath, breathe to feel, to see, and to hear. Each inhale happen fully, each exhale happen fully. Good, now roll onto your back again. Extend your left leg all the way up to the heavens. Keep your right leg rooting down. Clasp your hands together around the left calf muscle. And again, let's bring the forehead up to the shin. Your abs are still working. Fold the inner elbows around the knee, both sides of the knee, and see how close again you can bring your forehead to your left shin. You should be able to see quite a bit of improvement there. Now release everything down. Extend the left leg over left hip. Bring your right leg up slowly, flexing both feet. And one more set of this, flexing your feet, bring your arms out to either side. Pull the heels forward. You'll feel the abdominals start to work. And stay there and let them work. Push down to the backs of the shoulders. Press the shoulder blades into the floor. Press as many of those back ribs as you can into the ground. And this will increase the engagement of the lower and inner abdominal muscles. One final breath here. This time as you exhale, bend your knees, place the soles of your feet to the floor. Slide your arms alongside your torso with your palms alongside the pelvis. Take an inhale to extend the spine. And exhale to scoop the pelvis off the floor and hollow out the lower abdomen. Inhale, peel the rest of your spine off the floor, one vertebra at a time. And then walk your arms underneath you, moving into a bridge pose. Inhale, float the hips up. Exhale, root down through both palms. Inhale, float the hips a bit higher. Exhale, root down to the inner edges of both feet. Hug the inner thighs isometrically toward each other and push down more through the palms as well. Feel the triceps firing. One final inhale here, lift and take your arms out, roll slowly, slowly down to the ground. Once the pelvis lands, inhale, extend. And then keeping your feet sit bone distance apart, exhale, reach your legs over to the left. We're going to do a few windmills here. Inhale the knees back up so that your feet are still sit bone distance apart. Exhale, knees float to the right. Inhale, knees up. Exhale, over to the left. Inhale, knees up. Exhale, over to the right. One more time on each side. Moving slowly, please. Again, if you need to, close your eyes so that you can come back to the tangible experience of breath itself. What does the breath sound like? What does it look like? What does it feel like? Now, once you've done 3 to each side, bring your feet again about sit bone distance apart. Take another inhale here, extending the spine. Arms are alongside the torso. Exhale, scoop the pelvis up, empty out. Inhale, peel your spine off the floor again. This time, walk your elbows underneath you even more. Clasp your hands together if possible. pressing the pinky edges of your hands and the pinkies into the floor. Make sure that your glutes aren't dropping down. Make sure you're not letting the pelvis weigh heavy here. Pull the sit bones toward the knees and lift the heart toward the heavens. Expand your navel toward the sky as you inhale. Contract your back muscles as you exhale. Knit the back ribs toward each other. Make sure your chin is away from the soft part of your throat so that your neck is neutral. In other words, you're not flattening your neck into the ground. Take a final in-breath here. Please make sure your legs are strong. Take your arms out from underneath you. Roll your spine slowly back down to the floor. Pull the pelvis. You can even use your thumbs here. Pull the top of the pelvis away from the lower ribs so that your pelvis does not touch down until after you roll through the lumbar spine, the small of your back. Once the small of your back rolls down, then let the sacrum drop down and the small of your back will rise. Good. Cross your right knee over your left knee. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, draw both knees over to the left. Open up your chest toward the sky and turn your head to the right. Inhale, keep your knees crossed, but bring them back to center. Exhale, draw your knees over to the right, turn your head to the left. This is gonna feel very different. This is mostly a stretch for your outer thigh, the left outer thigh. Inhale, knees come up. Exhale, knees go to the left, turn your head to the right. Please move slowly, fluidly, gracefully, so that we're not causing the back to spasm here in these deep stretches. Take the entire inhale to bring the knees back up. Exhale to the right as you turn your head to the left. See if you can bring the knees in any closer to the ground by squeezing both inner thighs together here. Good. Inhale your knees back up. Uncross your legs, and let's do the same thing on the other side. So we're going to cross left knee over right. Take an inhale. Exhale, both knees drop to the right first. So just keep your head turned to the left. Huge breath into that stretch. Squeeze your inner thighs, pull the pelvis away from ribs. Inhale, knees come up, keep them crossed. Exhale, knees drop to the left. Turn your head to the right. Inhale, knees up. Exhale, knees to the right. Turn your head to the left. Shoulders are down, your arms are below the shoulders. Inhale, knees up. Gaze is at neutral. Exhale, knees go to the left and your head turns to the right. Try to bring the outer knees closer to the floor. This should just feel good, right? No pinching, but definitely some letting go of tension, some bringing tension up to the surface to be released. Bring the knees back up and uncross your legs now. Both feet flat to the mat. Bring your knees to touch each other so that the feet, the outer edges of your feet are now wider than your hips, and they're lined up with the outer edges of your mat. Take your hands to the tops of the shoulders and point your elbows toward the ceiling here. If possible, we're going to bring the tips of the elbows in to touch each other, right? And then inhale, the elbows will circle back around, out to either side of the room, and up toward the ceiling again to touch. Pull the elbows back behind your head. Circle around and through the shoulder socket, and then bring the elbows in to touch. One more time in this direction. Meanwhile, your knees are just falling in on each other so that you feel this gentle release across the lower back and the lower belly. Once you've touched the elbows together, this time reverse that. Bring the elbows forward first towards your knees, then out to either side, then back and up behind your head, and in. Now, even though this looks really silly, for me, it feels like a workout. It's working out muscles that never, ever get a chance to work. Muscles that directly support and stabilize my shoulder, which needs some stabilization. So I love this movement. It actually does feel like a workout for those muscle fibers that don't get to work out ever. If you take it slowly, you'll feel the same thing. Okay, don't be in a rush. It should feel like something is definitely happening. Now bring both elbows in and touch together. Pull the elbows a little further toward the sky. Good, and then release your arms straight so that the palms come to your thighs. Push your palms into your thighs and lift your head and shoulders off the floor. Take an inhale, lift the shoulder blades a bit higher. Exhale, push hands into thighs, and now pick up your feet and push your thighs back into that pressure. And again, that's where we're headed here is a little more engagement across this lower belly, okay? So if you're just feeling like your neck is doing the work, keep your head on the ground and just simply push hands into thighs, thighs back into hands. But if you do want to work a little core, a little abdominal wall, I should say, lift your head as well. Your knees are not coming in towards your chest. Your thighs are perpendicular to the floor and the ceiling. 2 more breaths here. Head can come down at any time. One final exhale. Great job. And then draw both knees in toward the armpits. Wrap your left elbow around your left shin, right elbow around right shin if possible. Otherwise, just hold on to the shins with your hands. Rock side to side and massage out your back. Good, and then please roll both of your knees over to the left. You're going to stack the knees this time. Take your left forearm with your palm up and place it on the right outer thigh. Reach your right arm more to the right. Use this particular twist to make sure that your outer body is relaxed. In order to give your spine perhaps a little adjustment, you might feel some crackling, right? So we're, again, no forcing, but just expect that at this point, with as many twists as we've done, that you're going to uncover more range of motion. Bring the left arm down, bring the knees back in, take your hands to your shins and rock side to side. Both knees come over to the right. Your right forearm will press down with the right palm up. Your left arm is reaching to the left and your gaze is to the left. Deep inhale into the lower back, the left side especially. Tell your muscles to relax. Strong exhale. You're using your core here. Tomorrow your abs are going to be sore. Your obliques are really going to be obvious because the twist, if you let it, is going to be a great workout for those deep interior muscles that we're looking to work here. Restoring strength and mobility at the same time. Bring those knees back up one more time. Rock side to side a few times. And this time reach up to grab your shins with your hands, forehead to the knees, abs are engaging, shoulders are down. Take a look at your abdominals. Make sure that you're drawing the belly button down rather than pushing your muscle up, okay? So if you can't see that, take your knees wider. Again, you can either be pushing the abdominal wall toward the thighs, or you can be drawing it down, and that we want to draw it down. Now release your head down. Release your legs down. Extend your legs out beneath you and your arms out to either side of you. Come back to the sound of your breath. And then begin to just move a little more to finish off your practice. You're just going to roll slightly to the right to lift the left leg off the floor, left glutes off the floor. And then the other side, do that a few times. So you're doing an internal rotation. Your left knee will point in as the left glute comes up. Right knee will point in as the right glute comes up. Once you've done that a few times, then I want you to just quickly roll back and forth across the sacrum. Good, and then release, just shake it all out. Shake out the hips, shake out your legs, your knees, your shins, your heels. Flex and point your toes a bit. Good, and then do the same thing with your upper body. So we're lifting the left shoulder blade off the floor and then the right. Doing that a few times with the left rib cage and then the right. Good, and then make it a smaller but faster movement across the back, across the shoulder blades and across the back ribs. And then even faster, shake out your shoulders, your arms, your elbows, your forearms, your wrists. Flex and extend your hands and your fingers. Shake out the hands if you need to. And then finally, turn your head from side to side so that your ears get as close to the floor as possible. Do that a few more times. Eventually, bring your chin up to a neutral position. Notice if you're feeling any tension at all in your body now. Shake it out if you do. Spread out, open up. And for these final moments of your practice, please stay here, just reveling in the feeling of being in a relaxed body, a mobile and free body. Listen to the sound of your breath. Let it be very subtle at this point, but still listen. You can still hear it. It's just more subtle. Feel the more subtle breath now, floating unimpeded, hopefully through the body. Watch the breath move as well. And for these final moments, just let yourself enjoy being relaxed, being in a relaxed body, letting your mind stay focused on the tangible expression of presence. So we're not letting the mind wander, even though that seems like it would be the most relaxing thing we could do. The mind wants to rest too. Let your mind rest on the sound and the look and the feel of your breath and of your body receiving your breath for just a few more moments of your practice. When you are ready, I'm going to leave you here, but when you are ready, please roll to one side and come up to a seated position. But please, please take at least 3 or 4 more minutes here in Shavasana. Namaste.